Hello, welcome pen friends. It's time for my Chris's inked pens for June 2022, and I was debating this back and forth because I was actually considering doing 30 inks 30 days for June and just kind of going from there. But looking at my calendar, it's too crazy and I want to keep things stable. So this was sort of a compromise between only inking a few pens or doing the 30 inks 30 days. I did my traditional. What I really like is to have 8 new inks to play with, and that's what I've done. So we're going to run through what the pens are, and then I'm going to show you my process that I kind of use to decide on my inks, and then we'll do writing samples. So first up is Twisby Eco, and this one has a stub nib, and it is the rose gold and white. So I'm excited because that was one of my goals for June, was to try a couple of stub nibs. And then next up is Lamy Safari with a broad nib. Whoops, it's kind of loose. It's a black one, but it's a Lamy broad nib. I really love this because I kind of like having plenty of pink choices because I like that colorway. But okay, then next up is the Twisby Eco, and this one has a broad nib, and it is the jade, I think, if I've got the color right. I'll correct it if I get it wrong. Okay, then next up is the Jinhao. I think this is a 992. I'm getting rusty. And it does have a broad Twisby nib on it, and a little bit of something going on here, but I haven't had any leaking. It's just, it looks funny, so it seemed to ring a bell, so I'm wondering. I'm wondering if I've already known about that problem, but I can't remember. So then next up is the Lamy Safari in terracotta red, I think is the color, but terracotta definitely, and a broad nib. I love this color, and it kind of corresponds with one of my favorite colors. So for ink, when you get into the orange that's a little bit darker, more brownish, then that I really like it for that. And then this is a pen I haven't used for a while. This is a Jinhao X750, which I use all the time, but this particular model is what did I call it? Shimmering Sands. I want to call it something else because it went along so well with one of the inks I have. And what I have on this one is a Yowo nib, broad nib. So that's going to be perfect, I think, for what I'm doing with it. I picked all of these after I picked the inks, by the way. So that's kind of the way I prefer to do it. But we're looking at things opposite. I'm going to show you the ink secondary. So here's the Twisby Eco purple transparent with a stub nib. So that gives me two stub nibs, 2 Twisby Ecos with stub nib, but different inks, of course, and that's going to be fun. And then this one is Jinhao 159, and this is a Goulet broad nib on it. I thought that looked really pretty. It kind of matches with the section, and I think this is the rose gold finish. I like this one a lot. It looks very distinguished, I think. So okay, so we'll hop in and I'll show you the inks I swatched while I was trying to make my selections. I thought that might be fun. Okay, so this was my first step, actually, was going through quite a few ink samples that have been sent to me, some a long time ago and some recently. And of course, I did this last month too. Let me flip back real quick. I was trying to make sure I didn't do any of the same ones. And I'm pretty sure I didn't duplicate, but if I did, this was April 30th. Yeah, so in preparation for May. And so in preparation for June, the first one was Colorverse Henry David Thoreau Walden Pond Blue, sent by pen friend MB, and it's gorgeous. It's a teal with a beautiful sheen over it, almost a violet sheen. It looks red at times too, but oh, it's so pretty. And then next up, Colorverse Coffee Break, and it's a beautiful brown. And I love Colorverse inks. So, okay, the first one I did end up choosing. Well, we'll see that in a minute. I don't need to tell you that, I guess. But the third swatched was Robert Oster Australian Opal Mauve. I've had this a long time. This was from pen friend KS. And it's just gorgeous. It looks so complex. Might be looking a little bit darker than itself because of the camera. It kind of picks up on that. Next was Pen BBS 384 Blueberry. That's what it said, I guess. And that just has the most interesting sheen as well. Almost a bronze looking or antique looking sheen over the top of a purple. So that's really pretty. I think that this, I put a note, I think this was put into a, thrown in with one of my ink orders a long time ago. It was a sample from Van Ness, and I'm still working my way through those kinds of things. A lot of fun to do that, but I feel like I'm kind of far behind. So okay, then last on this column, Diplomat Orchid from Pen Friend CS. Beautiful, beautiful pink. Whoops! Oh, I've gone off grid there. Uh-oh, there's something going on in the neighborhood with a little bit of a gold sheen too. It's very pretty. Let's see, I think you'll be able to see these better. This one is, I get mixed up, Monarcha. Okay, I may not be saying that right. Nopal, this was Manuel's favorite of the, I always show him everything I swatch, and he really liked this green. It kind of goes with his cactus, I was going to say farm, but patch that he has out there. He has cactus growing, and it's a real pretty green from, I think I said Pen Friend CS. And then this one here, oh my. Hopefully I can find the other. See how that sparkles, and well, with my bifocals, I can't tell what I'm showing you here. It has the sparkles and the sheen over it. I think there's a better sample coming up. Excuse me. And this is Van Diemen's Shooting Star. Boy, that's pretty. Really pretty. So anyway, needless to say, that got inked up from Pen Friend BH. But these were all so pretty. I wanted to do all of them, but I need to keep it to 8 because it'll get really crazy. The next one is Vinta Tabathia. Boy, I'm not in for pronouncing today, I guess. And this also has a gorgeous blue with all the sheen over it. But this is not shimmer. It's just got the sheen. I wish I could show you the shimmer up above. It's just not cooperating. I've got light, but it's just an interesting light. This was from Pen Friend AY. And then next was Van Diemen's Tiger Qual Prowl. Gorgeous, kind of a brown, reddish brown with this amazing green sheen. It just really stands out. From Pen Friend BH. And then Diplomat Caribbean from Pen Friend MB. This is a really pretty blue. Yeah, it's got red sheen, and it just really jumped out at me. So I ended up inking that one too. And then over here, I went looking because I remembered I had a Birmingham ink that I really wanted to try right away, and I had somehow filed it away and not had it with my newer ones. And it's Birmingham Antique Sepia from Pen Friend SB. And this is really interesting. This was a glass nib, so I'm not sure how it's going to be in the nib I chose for it, but I definitely inked it up. It's kind of almost a chalky brown, but it's very complex, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then next was Diemens Brandy Shop. I was looking for an orange that wasn't really an orange, that was more brown or more wheat colored, kind of gold almost. And sure enough, the ink vent from 2021 had one. So that was my starting point. And then I'm going to show you, these are the ones I chose. And then we'll dive right into the pens. So these are the inks that I chose before I chose my pens, because I chose the pens and nibs based on what I ended up picking for ink. So here we are. And I did notice I ended up with 3 blue, or you could almost say blue. This is definitely blue. Now this is blue with, this is that shooting star. I was hoping maybe the shimmer would come through more. This has such fine shimmer. Your eye picks it up, and the camera doesn't do it as many favors, but I think you can see it. It's just amazing. And of course, it ended up in this pen because that's kind of how this pen finish is. it's got those tiny little glittery, shimmery, you know, goodness. So anyway, 3 blues, but this is a teal. This is much more of a teal, and it's so heavily sheened that you're going to see 2 different things when you see the painted swatch and the one that's activated with water. It's gorgeous. It's got red sheen, lots and lots of it. Oh boy, and Colorverse being what it is. So I'm excited about all of them though. These 2 just really pop, and they say summer, and to me they say, you know, let's be cheerful no matter what kind of thing, or try to be for every once in a while. And then this one, I just love the complexity of it. The green, I really wanted a green, and I thought almost always with this green color family that looks like this, I end up liking it even better in a nib than I do in the swatch. So I'm just going by, you know, what I think about, and we just talked about this one. So I think I'll pick them up, make sure they stay in their little order, and then we can, we'll fill in the ink journal. We'll start with that. You know, so that I can do a little bit of writing. This is the Bond Travel Gear. They're no longer making them quite like this, but Lockbee is the new company, and they are making 68 GSM paper that's very good. Oh, this was the shimmering shooting star. This is the Van Diemen's shooting star when you go ahead and do the splatter, and I was just really enjoying that. But even so, to my eye, it looks more impressive than it does here as I try to show it on the camera. It's picking up a lot of the sheen, but it's the tiny, tiny little sparklies are best for the real eye. Real eye. Oh, yeah. Okay. So my goals for June, let me lift that up a little bit, are to try out samples from Pen Friends, ink at least 2 stub nibs, I've done that, and continue to prioritize Pen Pal letters. So that's why I've got mostly broad and stub nibs, because that's what I'm doing, writing and catching up. So I did do a 30 inks, 30 days chart, but I'll probably just use it to play with any inks that I try out. Any little, just I'll probably fill it in, but I'm not going to try to keep up with any challenge this month because I don't think it's feasible with everything that we have going on. I looked at all the appointments and I thought, oh, that's a way to stress myself with actually not any real reason. So, okay, let's get right started because I'm sure this is going to be quite long. So I'm going to write with each pen, Twisby Eco with a 1.1 stub in rose gold and white with Diplomat Caribbean, I guess. Okay. Oh, this is gorgeous. That is a very wet ink. Okay. Twisby Eco 1.1, and we'll put rose gold and W for white. We'll try to do a little smear. That's very nice. Diplomat Caribbean. I wonder if I've spelled that right. I'm not sure. I'll have to go and check. Nice. Wow, I think I can hold that up and you can see. It's got quite a bit of juice there, and you know I like a fire hose, so that ought to be great for letter writing. I've got some new paper too, but I'm going to show you that on another video. I'd really like to show you what I got with the channel money, so I'm planning to do that. So next up is Diplomat Orchid in Lamy Safari Pink broad nib. I can already tell you, I just know that this is going to be really enjoyable. I love a bright ink like this. Lamy Safari Pink broad nib, and wow, this is awesome. Okay. Funny, that didn't spread as far as I thought it would. Let's try again. Yeah, but it's plenty wet, that's for sure. Okay, Diplomat. So this is a new brand for me. Pen Friend Oh, one from each. One from Pen Friend MB and one from Pen Friend CS. So, but I have some more Diplomat, a few more samples. These were the ones that really jumped out. I really appreciate being exposed to new to me brands. You know, I've got so many right now, but still, this was really neat because I could begin to learn about a new brand. Oh yeah, I thought that was. Oh, now I probably got ink everywhere. That is gorgeous. Very nice. Nice and juicy. Okay. And next up, another Twisby. Actually, I'm only working with 3 pen brands. Gee, I hope I got that right. But this is the ink. Yes. Okay. Birmingham Antique Sepia. I know it's not really a match, but it kind of is in terms of the guts of the ink. When you put water on this, then you end up with that beautiful jade. So why not, right? I may be the only one that realizes that as I'm writing letters, but I ended up just inking Twisby's, Lamy's, and Jen Howe's, which, hey, that's pretty much where my heart is because they're my workhorse pens. This is a broad nib. So, Twisby. Ooh, this is pretty. It's nice in a nib. Maybe a little, it's probably going to dry quite a bit lighter because I wrote with this yesterday and it dried a lot lighter right here than I expected. So that's kind of a spoiler that I already found out, but we'll see what it does while we're here. Broad, and I'll put jade, I don't want to forget. Okay, gee, the June writing is going to be really fun. Birmingham, that's really distracting. Antique Sepia. Seems like I don't bother with medium inks, medium nibs lately, but that's going to change. And I'll tell you why. Because I finally got some paper, Cosmo Air Light 75 GSM, and I happen to know from all my scribbles I've been doing on the backs of letters people have sent me that that paper is very friendly with medium nibs. So who knows about next month, but for this month I chose to stick with broad and stub nibs. So next up is, this is an unlikely combination maybe, but the Mon Monarcha Nopal in the Jen Howe 992 with a Twisby broad nib. I don't know what made me put it in here. Maybe I just wasn't finding a good colorway in a broad nib in the Twisby. I didn't want to use a go. I didn't want to use a swipe. I don't know why I did. I almost used the swipe, but it just wasn't what I wanted. So, because I have a swipe and I have a go with a broad nib that I could have used. I wanted a clear demonstrator, I guess. 2 broad Twisby nib. Okay, and Monarcha. I really should have gone and checked to see how that said. Nopal. Very pretty. Yeah, this was Manuel's favorite ink of what I showed him. All the colors that I showed him, and this was the one that he liked. And it could be it was the color name. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. But that's a really pretty green. Okay, next up is another Safari, Lamy Safari with Diemens Brandy Shop out of Ink Event 21 last year. I do intend to get all of those into nibs eventually. I did like the first 8 and then I couldn't keep up. So, Lamy Safari, Terra, question mark, because I want to say terracotta red, but I may be adding stuff to it or taking away. Okay, with Diemens Brandy Shop. I love the name, I love the shading, and it's just that nice, almost like KWZ Monarch, but maybe not exactly. I don't have it right in front of me. I want to say that Monarch might be just a little brighter, but that's just going by memory because I'll have an avalanche if I try to dig things out right now. Okay, next up is the Van Diemen's Shooting Star. And it is a shimmer ink, and it is in the Jen Howe X750. Whew, with a broad Yo-Wo nib. Okay, I needed to have done at least a little bit of moving this around. It is a shimmer ink with very, very fine particle in it, so I want to make sure I do at least a little bit of agitating. Okay, this is the only shimmer ink, I guess, this month so far. Nice and wet. Okay, Jinhao X750 with broad Yo-Wo. It's not branded, but they come from the same place, but it's just a plain one. Okay, and Shimmering Sands. That's the finish of the pen itself. I wanted to say too, I have not encountered a Van Diemen's ink that I didn't like. They're just really nice. Shooting star. Well, no wonder I'm getting all mixed up. Shimmering and shooting and stars, and you know, like all these words with S's are getting all tangled in my mind, I think is what's happening. Because there's some others too that have sparkling and star and shimmering and stuff like that. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. It has to dry before you can actually get it to show its shimmer, but you can see that that went on pretty wet, so nice. Okay, and then next up is one that I really love the looks of this, and I'm not sure. It may end up being something I want to just use with art or backgrounds or activating in my journal with a water brush, because it tends to look a little bit light, but then I thought, well, why not just put it in with a stub so it has a good chance of laying down a lot of ink. So I got the Twisby Eco with a 1.1 stub in the purple transparent. And we're going to go for it. See, it's funny. I don't think it will go down that dark with like a medium nib, but I haven't actually tried that. So this is fun. This is really nice because I can see it real well. It has a lot of readability. Twisby Eco 1.1 purple translucent. Wait, no. I'm the one that wants to say that. It's transparent. Who knows? I make things up. Okay. Well, now we got a good, we know it's it's smears. Robert Oster. Australian Opal Mauve. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah, kind of in some little way makes me think of Monteverde Rose Noir, but I think this is, well, it appears darker. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've written with that one. I think I'm going to really like this. Okay, and last but not least is Jinhao 159 with Colorverse. Let's see if we can see all that sheen. Henry David Thoreau Walden Pond Blue. Broad Goulet nib. So you can see I'm geared for letter writing. I'm ready. And next video you'll see what I'm going to be writing on. So Jinhao 159 gold rose. I guess we'll put a little arrow. I get it out of order a little. Oops, nice. This is a really nice dark teal. And the sheen is going to make it so interesting depending on the paper. Oh, I thought I had something there. Okay, Colorverse. This is definitely darker than Gravity Wave. Whoops. Henry David. Thoreau. Walden Pond Blue. Woo! Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use this bottom part. I can't help it. That is gorgeous. Look at that. And you can see it comes out when you make the smear. You kind of remove some of the excess sheen so you can see what you've got. All right. So that is what we have. That's it. Okay. I'm getting up there on time, but I think I'm going to be able to turn back and show you something else. So I'll be right back. Okay, there was very little else except for May. I did really good. I think the Lamy 2000 with Robert Oster Morning Mist was the only pen that really functionally didn't work out very good. But then in the Twisby Eco, the same ink was okay. So it's just it was just a simple ink pen non-compatibility, that's all. And we'll go from there. And then I hadn't graded the Opus 88 Mini. That's a little black and red checkered one. Let's see, I got it right here. I hadn't graded that yet because at the time I talked to you last about it, I was just starting out trying it with the Private Reserve Vampire Blood ink. And I ended up really liking it in terms of its writing and the smoothness, the flow of the ink and everything. I loved it. I gave it an A. The color, I've had a few in that category that I kind of prefer, like Monteverde Canyon Rust, and there is, I think, another one in the Ferris Wheel Press that I like in that color family a little bit better. But it's really nice ink and very flowy, and the two went together real good. It was a broad nib in that pen. So I think that's pretty much it. So now we have our new ones. We have 8 for this month to try out, and this really is a first significant, anyway, time that I have worked with any of these inks. I've certainly done a little bit of, well, these, you know, I've done some Cola Index of them, and it seems like I may have done a little bit more with Australian Opal Mauve, but it couldn't have been anything I did here because I don't find it in the ink journal, so it must have just been, you know, my testing it out with a glass nib pen and so on. When they come in, I love to do that. So I think this will be really fun. And, you know, I've really kind of got re-inspired to just get back into my inks and especially use the ones that have been coming in as Pen Friends samples. So I really am glad of that. And I think it's probably a wise decision that I not take on so much that, because it's self-pressure. It's not anything anybody tells me to do. It's me. You know, I end up doing that if I try the 30 inks 30 days because I can never seem to do anything without putting my whole self into it. So I really want to put myself into the appointments, and they're not my appointments. It's me just being supportive of the people that have the appointments, and they're not all manuals. So I want to be kind of aware of that. And this is it, I guess. I've gone on long enough. But I'm excited to come back because I want to show you the paper and envelopes that I got from Jet Pens with the channel allowance. And also, just right here, I just wanted to mention that I did make the donation for the channel to the food bank. 20% of what we bring in here to the channel, we donate to the local food bank. And it's not a lot of money, but I think it has a lot of impact because I think they can do a lot with $26. So that's what it happened to be this time. It took 2 months to generate it, and then that's what it was. That's what the 20% was. So I'll let you go now because I want to get this up before June 1st because today's June 30th. Yeah, gee, if I don't know, who would? Tomorrow's, wait. Okay, all I know is that it's Tuesday, so the computer will tell me what day it is when I turn around. Oh my goodness. I'll see you guys next time, and hope you're all doing well, and please let me hear from you in the comments. I want to hear about all the different inks and pens that you're using. Bye for now.